Hello, how are you? I'm fine, thank you. I hope you are okay. I hope everything's going well in school. And yeah, and here we are for another class. All right. So this week, um, this is what we are doing. So we're going to be doing a reading activity. So we're going to go today to the pupils book, and we're going to go to page 31. All right, that's page 31. So that's lesson 3, all right, unit 3, lesson 3, culture around the world. All right, we have this little story. Página 31. Ok, y vamos a hacer un poco, vamos a leer una historia. Okay, so do you have the correct page? Excellent. All right, so let's begin. Now, this story is about one of my favorite things in the world, chocolate. Okay, you can see here some delicious chocolate. Okay, so we all know everybody loves chocolate. All right. But where does it come from? How is it made? All right. Well, we're going to read a little story, okay, about the history of chocolate. All right. So, what I want you to do is to listen along with the story and read. Okay. So we're listening and reading. All right. And try and understand. Okay, all the little texts. All right. And then if there's anything you don't understand, all right, then you can highlight it, all right, and you can look it up on the internet, or you can ask me when you come to class. Okay. Anyway, let's begin. So, page 31. Let's begin reading. All right. So this is called Food of the Gods. Food of the Gods. Okay. All right. Are we ready?
The story of chocolate started over 2,000 years ago in a part of Central America, which later became Mexico, when farmers discovered the fruit or pods of the cocoa tree. They noticed a delicious smell coming from the pods. They took the beans from the pods and dried them. Then they roasted and ground them. They mixed the powder with water and spices to make a cold drink. The chocolate was so good that people believed it was a miracle food. More than 1,000 years later, the Spanish explorer Hernán Cortés tried the drink. It was very bitter, but he liked it. He brought some beans back to Spain. The king liked the drink too. Cortés suggested adding sugar, vanilla, and cinnamon.
You needn't drink it cold. You can drink it warm too.
The sweet hot chocolate became a big success. People enjoyed sharing it in groups and drinking it on special occasions. However, it was too expensive for poorer people. Chocolate facts. It took until 1847 before people began making chocolate bars. Soon, eating chocolate became much more popular than drinking chocolate. The cocoa tree can only be grown in warm climates near the equator. A large percentage of the world's cocoa beans grow in Ivory Coast in Africa.
Okay. All right. Very good. Okay. Did you understand? Did you listen? Okay, so it's about the origins of chocolate. So it was originally a drink, and a Spanish explorer, Hernan Cortés, tried it and he brought it back to Europe, and then it became very popular. So yes. Do you like hot chocolate? I love hot chocolate. Okay, anyway, now remember, if you didn't understand or you need to listen again, you can always stop the video, go back and listen again, okay? Si necesitas escuchar y leerlo otra vez, puedes parar el video y volver y escucharlo otra vez. Okay, no problem. Okay, so now that we've read this story, we have some questions to answer in the activity book. So let's go to the activity book. And we're going to go to page 28. Okay, so that's lesson 3, unit 3. Okay, page 28, página 28. All right, and we're going to do this exercise here, exercise 1. Okay, exercise 1 here. All right, so we have some questions about the story of chocolate. All right, now I will help you do this. We'll do these questions all together. Okay, and we'll find the answers in the text. Okay, and we'll write correct sentences in the answers. Okay, vamos a contestar estas preguntas todos juntos. Okay, vamos a buscar las respuestas en el texto y escribir las respuestas en frases completas. Okay, right, so let's begin. All right, I'll get my, so I can write. Okay, okay, so let's look at this first question here. Okay. Right. So it says, first questions. What did the farmers do? Farmers, granjeros, right? What did the farmers do to the beans before they mixed them with water? All right. What did the farmers do to the beans before they mixed them with water? All right. So let's have a look at our story. Okay. So let's have a look at here. Okay. So I will highlight this here in the text. So remember the question was, what did the farmers do to the beans before they mixed them with water? Okay, so before they put the water, antes que ponen el agua. What did they do? Let's have a look here. It says here, sorry, wrong thing there. It's this thing that I want. Okay, so it says here, they took the beans from the pods. Okay, so they take them out of, so they take the beans out of the pods and then dried them. Then they roasted them and ground them. Okay, so to dry them, dry means secar, right? So they dried them, then they roasted them, so they cooked them on the fire, and then they ground them. So ground them is when they make it into a powder, cuando lo ponen en polvo. Okay, so they ground them. So this is our answer. Okay, so let's write this in a phrase. Okay, so here, all right, oh, let me get it correct here. All right. Okay, so what did the farmers do to the beans before they mixed them with water? So, first, secar, right? So they dried them. You know what? I'm going to do this. I'm going to use this. Okay. So now I'm going to write the answers here, right? But you can, remember in your book, you write the answers in the line here, okay? All right, so let's have a look. What did the farmers do to the beans before they mixed them with water? So I'm going to say they dried them. They dried them. Then they roasted and ground them. They dried them. Roasted them. Okay, so roast is on the fire, cook on the fire. and ground them. Okay, ground them. Okay, so we have three things. So they dried, secar, roasted them, cocinar, and ground them, hacer polvo. Okay, I'm just going to see how to say grind in Spanish. Let's see the word. Okay, grind. Moler. So ground, I think would be moler. Molido. Okay, ground is molido. Moler. Okay, so what did they do to the beans before they mixed them with water? They dried them, they roasted them, and they ground them. Okay, so that's the answer for number one. So we can write that here in number one. Okay, good. Let's go to question number two. All right, and it says, who did the people believe the drink was given by? Who did the people believe the drink was given by? If you don't understand the question, okay, so the people, what did they think? Okay, what did they think? Where did they think the drink came from? Okay, what was it? Who was it given by? Okay, ¿de dónde viene el bebida de chocolate? Okay, what did the people believe the drink was given by? All right, so let's have a look. So if we look at box number 2 here, it says here, people believed it was a miracle food. People believed it was a miracle food. Okay, now miracle, they believed it's a miracle, that means it's from God. Okay, from God. That's why the story is called Food of the Gods, right? Because this is what they believed. They believed that it's a miracle food, so it comes from the gods. Okay, so let's write that in our answer. Who did the people believe the drink was given by? They believed, they believed the drink was given by the gods. They believe the drink was given by the gods. Okay, so this is our answer. So we write this in number 2 here. Okay, now that question was a little bit strange. Okay, let's continue on to number 3. Okay, this one's a bit easier. Where was Hernan Cortes from? Where was Hernan Cortes from? Okay, let's look in our story. So here we have Hernan Cortes. Let's see what it says. It says, more than 1,000 years later, the Spanish explorer, Hernan Cortes, so highlight this, the Spanish explorer, Hernan Cortes, tried the drink. So if he's Spanish, that means he's from Spain. Okay, so let's write the answer. Where was Hernan Cortes from? He was from Spain. Oh, Spain with a capital S. Okay. He was from Spain. Easy. Okay, let's try the next one. Number 4. Remember to write your answers here in your book. Okay. Number 4. What did Cortes suggest adding to the drink? Suggest is sugerir. Okay, so what did Cortes suggest adding to the drink? So what did he say that we can put together with the chocolate to make it taste better? Let's have a look in the story. It says here, if we look in box number 4, okay, we see the answer. Cortes suggested adding sugar, vanilla, and cinnamon. Cinnamon is canela, right? So there's our answer. What did Cortes suggest adding to the drink? He suggested adding, was it vanilla, sugar, and cinnamon. Yeah, you suggested adding vanilla, sugar, and cinnamon, right? Just like it says here. Okay, so let's write our answers here in our books, right? In number 4. Okay, very good. And let's go to number 5. When did people begin to make bars of chocolate? When did people begin to make bars of chocolate? Okay, ¿cuándo empezaban a hacer barras de chocolate? When did people begin to make bars of chocolate? Let's look in the text. Okay, if we look in box number 6, we can find the answer. You see here? It says here, it took until 1847 before people began making chocolate bars. 1847. So there's our answer. So when did people begin to make chocolate, to make bars of chocolate? People began to make bars of chocolate in, remember the year? What was it? 1847. In 1847. That's when they started to make the bars of chocolate. Okay, so let's write the answer here in number 5. Okay, and the last question, where did cocoa trees need to grow? Cocoa trees are the trees that make the chocolate beans. Okay, where did cocoa trees need to grow? Let's have a look in our text. If we look in box number 6 again here, it says, the cocoa tree can only be grown in warm climates near the equator. Warm climates. So warm is like hot. So hot places near the equator, which is the middle of the planet, right? So places like Africa, South America, all right? So there's our answer. So let's write the answer in the box, okay? Where do cocoa trees need to grow? Okay, remember the answer? So it says warm climates near the equator. All right, so they need to grow in warm climates near the equator. Okay, there we go. So there's our answer. So let's write that here in number 6, okay? So, okay, so now we have answers to all the questions, all right? Let's just go through them again. What did the farmers do with the beans before they mixed them with water? They dried them, roasted them, and ground them. Who did the people believe the drink was given by? They believed the drink was given by the gods. Where was Hernan Cortes from? He was from Spain. What did Cortes suggest adding to the drink? He suggested adding vanilla, sugar, and cinnamon. And when did people begin to make bars of chocolate? People began to make bars of chocolate in 1847. And the last one, where do cocoa trees need to grow? They need to grow in warm climates near the equator. Okay? So make sure you have all the answers written correctly in your book. Okay? Mira bien si tiene todas las respuestas bien escrito en el libro. All right? Okay, very good. I hope you could understand the story. Okay, maybe it's been a little bit difficult to understand, but I hope you could understand a little bit. Okay, la historia fue un poco raro, unas cosas un poco difícil de entender, pero no pasa nada. Espero que habéis entendido bastante. Okay, estoy seguro que sí. Okay, anyway, so what we're going to do now for our next thing is we're going to go in our activity book again, and we're going to do exercise 2. Okay, so this is a continuation, okay, of the story. All right, now this is a listening activity, okay? So we're going to listen to somebody talking about the chocolate, okay, some people talking about chocolate, and we have to complete the phrases, okay, and it says with 1, 2, or 3 words, okay? 1, 2, or 3 words. So, right, and it's about this story. So, before we listen, take some time and read all the phrases and check you understand, okay? Antes de escuchar, leemos todas las frases y a ver si entendemos todo, okay? Y así podemos saber más o menos las respuestas que estamos buscando. Okay, so the first one, the story is about where Where chocolate what? Okay. Number 2, Callum thought that the Mayans made the into chocolate bars. Tom has learnt that chocolate bars were invented much than drinking chocolate. 4, Tom thinks it's interesting that Cortez thought the drink was Number 5, Callum didn't know that half of the world's cocoa beans grow in And number 6, Tom thinks it's strange that Callum chocolate. Okay, so each space, 1, 2, or 3 words. Okay. All right. So are we ready? Okay, let's listen.
What are you reading about?
I'm reading a text about where chocolate came from.
Oh, right. It came from South America, didn't it?
Well, not exactly. It started with the discovery of cocoa pods by the Mayan farmers in Central America. They noticed a delicious smell coming from the pods. Then they realized there were beans inside these pods.
And did they make these into chocolate bars?
Chocolate bars came much later. They're only about 150 years old. The Mayans lived about 2,000 years ago.
What did they do with the beans then?
They dried them, roasted them, and then ground them into powder. They put this powder into cold water to make a drink.
Did it taste good?
Yes, that's what they thought. It was so good they thought it was given to them by the gods. I think it's interesting that when Cortez arrived in Central America from Spain, he thought it was too bitter. When he took the beans back to Spain, he suggested adding sugar. Now most people like chocolate with sugar.
So, did the people in Spain like it?
Oh yes. Rich people drank chocolate in special shops. They had it on special occasions too.
Was chocolate expensive?
Well, I suppose it was. Do you know where half of the world's cocoa beans grow?
Do you mean in which country?
Yes.
Is it Mexico?
No, it isn't. It's Ivory Coast.
Oh, really? I didn't know.
But chocolate is made in factories all over the world.
This is all very interesting. But guess what? I don't like chocolate at all.
How strange. I love chocolate.
Okay. Did you listen? Did you get all the answers? Okay. Now remember, right? You can stop the video, go back and listen again. Okay. Puedes parar el video, volver y escuchar otra vez. Okay. Para tener todas las respuestas. Okay. Right. So let's correct. Okay. Now we'll go through this question by question. All right. And I'll write the answers here on the screen. Okay. So, all right, we'll go one by one and we'll listen at the same time. Okay. So, first one, the story is about where chocolate what? Let's have a listen.
What are you reading about?
I'm reading a text about where chocolate came from.
Okay. Did you get that? The story is about where chocolate came from. Oh, what happened here? Oh, hold on 1 second. Got a computer error. Okay. Let's go here again. Sorry about that. Let's try that again. Okay. All right. So the story is about where chocolate came What is going on? Okay. Sorry about this. Let's try one more time. Okay. Yeah. So what I'll do this time, I'll just put the I'll just put the answers here. Okay. Now remember to write the answers correctly in the space in your book. All right. So all right, let's try that again. So number 1, the story is about where chocolate came from. Okay.
What are you reading about?
I'm reading a text about where chocolate came from.
Okay, so there's number 1. Number 2, okay, Callum thought that the Mayans made the into chocolate bars.
Oh, right. It came from South America, didn't it?
Well, not exactly. It started with the discovery of cocoa pods by the Mayan farmers in Central America. They noticed a delicious smell coming from the pods. Then they realized there were beans inside these pods.
And did they make these into chocolate bars?
Okay, so I don't know if you got the answer. And you said, so they have the pods, and inside the pods, we have the cocoa beans, right? The little beans, right? The judías de chocolate, huh? At the cocoa beans. And then Callum said, did they make these into chocolate bars? All right. So the answer here, number 2, Callum thought that the Mayans made the beans into chocolate bars. Okay. The beans. Okay. Let's try number 3. It says, Tom's learnt that chocolate bars were invented much than drinking chocolate. Let's have a listen.
Chocolate bars came much later. They're only about 150 years old.
Did you hear that? He said chocolate bars came much later. Mucho más tarde, much later. Here's the answer to our question. Tom has learned that chocolate bars were invented much later than drinking chocolate.
The Mayans lived about 2,000 years ago.
What did they do with the beans then?
They dried them, roasted them, and then ground them into powder. They put this powder into cold water to make a drink.
Did it taste good?
Yes, that's what they thought. It was so good they thought it was given to them by the gods. I think it's interesting that when Cortez arrived in Central America from Spain, he thought it was too bitter.
Did you get that? So, when Cortez arrived from America in Spain, he thought the drink was too bitter. Too bitter. Okay, and I remember 2, that was demasiado, right? 2. Bitter is amargo, right? So you thought the drink was too bitter. So you drink and you're like, very bitter. So here's our answer, okay? He thought the drink was too bitter. Demasiado amargo. Okay. Let's try the next one. Callum didn't know that half of the world's cocoa beans grow in, let's listen.
When he took the beans back to Spain, he suggested adding sugar. Now most people like chocolate with sugar.
So, did the people in Spain like it?
Oh yes. Rich people drank chocolate in special shops. They had it on special occasions too.
Was chocolate expensive?
Well, I suppose it was. Do you know where half of the world's cocoa beans grow?
Do you mean in which country?
Yes.
Is it Mexico?
No, it isn't. It's Ivory Coast.
Okay.
Oh,
Did you get that? So which country do half of the world's cocoa beans grow in? Okay. First he said Mexico, and then he said no. He said Ivory Coast. Here's our answer. Ivory Coast. Ivory Coast in Africa. Okay. Right, last one. Tom thinks it's strange that Callum chocolate.
really? I didn't know.
But chocolate is made in factories all over the world.
This is all very interesting. But Guess what? I don't like chocolate at all.
How strange. I love chocolate.
Okay, do we get the answer? So Tom thinks it's strange that Callum doesn't like chocolate. He says, I don't like chocolate at all. And then Tom says, that's strange. Okay. So, did you get all the answers? All right. Don't worry if not. Okay. Like I said, this whole story is a little bit strange. Okay. Some of it's a bit difficult to understand. Anyway, so let's go through the answers again. The story is about where chocolate came from. Callum thought that the Mayans made the beans into chocolate bars. Tom has learned that chocolate bars were invented much later than drinking chocolate. Tom thinks it's interesting that Cortez thought the drink was too bitter. Callum didn't know that half of the world's cocoa beans grow in Ivory Coast. And Tom thinks it's strange that Callum doesn't like chocolate. Okay? Make sure you have all the answers written correctly, okay, in your book here. All right? Okay, so if you finished exercise 1 and 2, all right, then that's all for today. Okay. Now, if you want to in your house, okay, on the internet, all right, you can do this little bit of research. Okay, so you've just got 5 questions about Mexico. All right. Now, all you need to do is you just need to type these questions into Google. Maybe some of the questions you know already. All right. But if not, just type them into Google and you can write the answers in your book. Okay. If you want to, you can do that on your own in your house. Okay. Si quieres hacer esto solo poniendo las preguntas por internet en Google y a ver qué dice la respuesta. Y ponemos las respuestas en inglés aquí en el libro. Okay. So, anyway, so we should have exercise 1 and 2 on page 28, all finished. All right. Excellent. So that is the story of where chocolate came from. Okay. So I hope you could understand. All right. I hope you've got all the answers correct in your books. All right. If there's anything that was too difficult or anything that you didn't understand, okay, write it down and ask me when you come to class. Si había algo que demasiado difícil o no podías hacer, apúntalo y puedes preguntarme cuando vienes a clase el próximo día. Okay, everybody. Very good. Keep up the good work. All right. And yeah, I will see you in class. Bye-bye.